What's going on? We're here at Gen Con 2024. As always, I'm Rob, and I'm being joined by Eric, who's
nice to meet you.
Who's going to be talking about Altered, the TCG. So why don't you give us a quick rundown, and then you can kind of go through a play.
For sure. So Altered is a race game. It's a racing game. You don't face an opponent to kill him. There is no hit points here. You don't destroy anyone. It's more the Olympics, and because we're friends, the Olympics, it works well for today.
Okay, perfect.
So basically, the game happens in a world which has collided with our imaginary world. Because of that, we human beings, we started to meet with our counterparts from the imaginary world. So you see, we will play as a hero and our imaginary companion.
Okay.
Good for you. You place your hero card in the middle here. You will play with your hero tokens and companions. So I'm the green faction. I will play my companion on the companion side, hero on the hero side. Let's say you play the magicians here. You will have your companion here and your hero here. The game of Altered is played with a deck of 40 cards in constructed formats, 39 playable, one is your hero. So what you do, you shuffle, you pick up 6 cards.
You'll want to select what deck you want to use.
And at the beginning of a game, 3 of them will become your starting manas. I pick them at random. Do not do much with your deck, I will do everything here.
Okay, sounds good.
So I have 3 remaining cards.
Do either of you play TCG?
We toss a coin to see who's first player. Let's say I won. I put it here, then it will be here. This is a day and night system. So we are starting a new day here, and we start with the afternoon phase. The afternoon phase is a phase where we play cards. I will pick up a card in my hand. This one, for example, and it has mana cost here. The blue one means when you play it from your hand. The green one here, which can change from depending on the color of your faction, is when you play it from your reserve. So the reserve is an area on your playmat, which is here. I will explain it later. I will pay 3, and play this character because it's a character. You can recognize it because it has biome abilities here.
Okay.
And I will play it here in my companion expedition or in my hero expedition. Let's say I play it in my hero expedition. I can play it anywhere. All right? Goal of the game, by the way, is to reunite your companion and hero anywhere in the adventure. So let's say you start here, you will start moving forward, and maybe at some point you're going to meet here. If you do that before I do, you win.
Okay, and it doesn't matter where on the track, it's just as long as they meet.
You could even meet here.
Got it.
Never seen that, but you could.
Yeah.
That's how you win. Be the first to do that. It means you have fully explored the area before I did. Beginning of a game, you have those 3 adventure cards in the middle, always shuffled up and down, so you don't know where you land. And here I started my game. I play this one here. Because I played something, it's your turn. It's a back and forth system.
Okay.
So let's say you played this one here. It goes back to me because you played something. I don't have anything left to play, but I'm a cheater, so I'm playing this here because I can. It goes back to you. Let's say you cheat too because you want to cheat. And I want you to play a very cheaty card, this one, okay? You can play more than 1 card on an expedition, so just add. So you will add the numbers. Goes back to me, I'm not cheating anymore, I cannot do anything left.
Okay.
Goes back to you, you're not cheating anymore, so you pass 2. Okay. When I pass, I cannot play for the day anymore, which means that if you have more than 1 action to play, you can just keep playing them.
Okay, so even if you pass, I still get, if I have 2 actions, I get 2 actions, 3 actions, however many.
You can play as much as you can.
Sounds good.
Or wish.
Yeah.
So, it was the afternoon phase, we played cards. Now, we are going to the dusk phase. This is where we resolve the hero expedition against each other and the companion expeditions against each other.
Okay.
Let's start here. I am, and you are on the starting squares. On the starting squares, all 3 biomes are available to you, green, brown, and blue. Forestry, mountain, and water. Which means we need buff to win on any of the 3 biomes to move forward. I have no competition. I win on all the 3 biomes, so I move forward 1 square. This is where I reveal the card.
Okay.
I cannot move forward more than 1 square, even if I win on all 3 biomes.
Okay.
Here, we are going to compare. I have 4 in green, you have 3 in green. Same again, starting squares, we have all 3 biomes available. I win on green, green is available to me, so I move forward. Brown, you have 2, I have 4. As I said, I cannot win twice.
Got it.
Blue, you have 5, I have 4. You win on blue, blue is available to you, you move forward too. In some cases, none of us are going to move forward. In some cases, both of us. In some cases, one of us only.
Okay.
All right?
And then moving forward 1 square, each card represents 2 squares here?
Besides the starting
Besides the starting ones.
You always face each other, even if you're not on the same squares. Let's reverse the playground here. Let's say we were like this on the other side, and we resolve. I win in green. I am on green. Hopefully I won on green because this is the only color I could need to win.
Yes.
So I move forward. If I would have won on blue only, I wouldn't move forward. Okay? And you have 3 available for you to move forward. So blue is available to you, so you move forward too.
Okay.
Good for you? This phase is done. We have resolved both sides. Once we are done, we go to the night phase. We are tired. Our adventurers need to rest. Then we go to the reserve. As you can see, you have 2 squares on your reserve zone. You want me to make it here? So you have 2 boxes on your reserve zone, which are full boxes, and an extra space. It means at night you cannot have more than 2 cards in your reserve zone. If you would have, let's say, 3 or more, you need to pick the extras and discard them. So let's say you don't want to keep this one, you discard it, and you keep only 2 cards. All right? Night is over, a new day is coming. We start with the morning phase. At morning, first we switch first player, then we ready our cards, then we draw 2 cards that we add to our existing hand, So I have my 3 cards in hand. And starting with the first player, you decide if you want to have a new mana coming from your hand. Let's say you want, so pick a card. Could be none, could be 1. I do the same then, and you're good to go. You're first player, you play first. This is a new afternoon phase, once again.
Okay.
You're not going to do that. You could play cards from your hand like we did before, but now you can also play cards from the reserve.
Yes.
We're going to play this one. As you can see, this one costs 3 from hand, 2 from reserve. So for this turn, you're going to play it for 2.
Okay.
2 manas. Let's say you played here, so you have tapped your 2 manas. And because you played it from your reserve, it comes with a status token named Fleeting, which means that whenever this card would need to go to the reserve again, it would be discarded instead.
Got it.
So cards have a life cycle.
Yeah.
All right? Now about your card's powers. As you can see, this one has a little hand symbol. It means that when I am played from your hand, you get the effect. When you played it here from the reserve, it does nothing. Would you play it from hand? It does something. And if you see an arrow here, it means whenever you play it, from anywhere. So you have the arrow for anywhere, hand for hand, and this little symbol is from reserve, like here.
Which matches the symbol on the back.
Yeah. Good to go. One extra small rule is sometimes you will have a card with an extra text box here, green one here, depending on your faction color. It's only an interesting card, an interesting power to use when this card is into your reserve. So I will put it into the reserve. Let's say it's you who played it. During one of your turns, you can decide to, instead of playing this card, for example, to discard it instead to get the power in exchange. So it's a little X on a card. You discard it. You do what it says.
Okay.
And it's a free action, so you don't pass turn.
Okay.
You can do that, then keep playing.
Okay, so I would discard it, and then the next character I play gains 1 boost.
Yeah, that's it. And then we have our hero powers. So our heroes, mine is automated. It's the first character I play each day gets 1 boost. 1 boost is a little symbol like this one, which gives +1/+1/+1 to the character you played. So you just put it here, and you have this +1/+1/+1. Very simple. Yours is really cool because when it's your turn, and you have the first player token, you can decide not to play, and you say after you. So I have to play, and then you play. So you want to react to what I do.
I see.
And that's it. Just in case, if by any chance there are none in my decks, there might be in your deck, you get a card named Landmark. This is where they are played. They follow the same rules as the reserve. You cannot have more than 2. If you have more than 2, you discard the extra. And the landmarks are permanent type cards. Okay. So they stay in play and they do something regularly.
Yeah, so they have a passive ability.
And that's it. You've got everything you need to play.
Okay. And then, so I also saw that there were some abilities that will target cards that you have out in your stage, correct?
Yeah, this is called Sabotage. So Sabotage is a card you have into your decks.
Right now, you just
so if you want to see a Sabotage card, this one is a Sabotage card.
go ahead and play your
Okay.
So it says discard up to 1 target card from a reserve. Any reserve. Could be yours, could be mine. So you have effects that target characters into play, into reserve, into my hand, into my deck, and so on, like any usual TCGs. But here, the mantra is more about the adventure. It's not about destroying. So we sabotage. We try to slow down our opponent's expedition.
Got it.
That's the idea.
Okay. And then how long do you say the average play session is?
With those starter decks here, if you have played more than one game and you're familiar with them, I would say 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
When you play with constructed decks, and depending on which faction, which hero you pick, you might have longer games.
Okay. So now that we know how to play the game, why don't you tell me a little bit more about alternate, besides gameplay mechanics, what else makes it different from other TCGs? I mean, we have these barcodes that are listed at the bottom of the cards.
Do you want me to start with the barcodes?
Yeah, let's start with that. Yeah.
So those are QR codes. Every single card in Alter comes with a unique QR code, even the common cards, all right? Because of that, when you open a booster, you will have first created your account on the Altered app, which is available right now. So you create your account, and then from your telephone, I'll try to show you with my... So I will be able to save my accounts online within my app. And the cool thing is, because it could be a very slow process with your telephone to scan them one by one, here we offer one extra layer, which is a mass scan within the app. So in fact, I will just have to hover over all my QR codes, and they will all be instantly registered into my collection.
Oh yeah, because
and it's lagging. So
no.
Thanks, internet.
No, that's awesome because it is one of the pain points of scanning in physical products. Using QR cards is the process. I mean, other TCGs have handled this differently, not necessarily scanning in the individual cards, but having something you can scan in. And it's always even though 30 seconds doesn't feel like a lot, when you're 30 seconds every single card.
Yeah, and it's boring. It's pain in the ass. So when I did receive my Kickstarter displays last weekend, so I spent a weekend to handle them. Yeah. And at the 7th one, I was really used to the system, so it took me 45 minutes to open a full display, put all the cards in order for all factions, and scan all of them.
Yeah. And actually, you mentioning your Kickstarter displays is a great segue. You guys ran a successful Kickstarter campaign. The game is not out yet, right? The game comes out next month, September. Remind me. 13th. And you guys, I mean, when I say successful, I mean you guys did $6.7 million on Kickstarter. Have backers started to receive? When do backers start to receive their?
So Europe started.
Okay.
Rest of the world as well, but I cannot really pinpoint which country because it's dependent on the hubs and on the logistic approach. And the US are supposed to start right now. Okay. So it should be early to mid-August for the US market. So you will receive your cards too. We Europeans have a little advance, but the manufacturer is in Belgium, so it's closer to France. Sure. But it's coming. And it's in France we are doing, from Asmodee perspective, we are doing a bigger start than Lorcana in France. Okay. And then as far as the September release, that is it major retailers and local game stores? Yeah. They have access to the retail product. So the Kickstarter product is a one in a lifetime special edition, which is slightly different, not very different, but slightly different, a bit buffed up, compared to the retail boosters. We will never do any Kickstarter again. So from now on, you will have access to the retailer boosters and starter decks in stores, and we will. You guys don't want to make another 6.7 million doing? But that's not the goal. Kickstarter isn't our line of work. It was just a one-time stunt. It was really cool, really fun for building a first community. Yes. We have more than 10,000 followers on Discord right now, so we have a huge community. But now it's time for the retailers to come and take the job. This is their job, not ours. And how's the response been so far? People taking demos and stuff like that here at Gen Con? I'd say we have 95-99% positive feedbacks all the time, everywhere we went for a year and a half now. So we are very happy. Those starter decks are really nice, very easy to play with, to get you into the hobby. And the fun part is people keep discovering what's around the game, because it's not only, as we said, it's not only just a card game, it's more than that. So you have for everyone something that will speak to yourself. Competitive player will be curious to see how the deck building rules work, the unique cards, the rarity systems, and etc. etc. New players more into lore or artistic approach will be welcome, because the arts are very shiny, very colorful. There is no violence, and it speaks to a lot of people, these non-violent aspects. No, you mentioned the art, and one of the things I actually love about this is the art. I know that
one of the designers was involved with Dixit, which is
not only involved, he's the maker.
Yes, of Dixit, and which is a huge hit at it's actually my daughter's favorite game, and some of the art style reminds me of that quite a bit, and that's my favorite part of that game.
I mean, that there is a reason why.
Yeah.
He built up this company, and he built up Libelluts, the previous company he had, and it was inspired by his previous work, and we wanted to keep the trend doing so.
And then can you also tell me a little bit about the printed demand aspect of the game as well?
So once you have scanned your cards, let's see if I can, maybe not. Once you have scanned your cards, then you have access to multiple services. By the way, all of those services are not yet available.
Sure.
They will be available, all of them, mostly at the end of the year, but we are starting to deliver right now. And the print on demand is a feature that goes along the marketplace. So I need to introduce the marketplace to speak print on demand. Basically, you will have an online marketplace on the app built within, where you can trade your cards instantly in euro and dollars with anyone on earth. So you just sell your cards and a Japanese player buy it from you. And then he has the digital ownership of the card. He has the card in its online collection, but he doesn't have the physical card.
Right.
Usually you would ship it to your customer, like for any other TCGs. So you would ship it and it would arrive, not arrive, being stolen, being damaged, whatever. Here you don't ship anything. You keep your one. You can still play with it, but you can play with it casually only, because if you don't own it digitally, you cannot register into tournaments with it.
Okay.
To register into tournaments, you will need to register from the app with your deck list built within the app, based on your online collection. So if you own the cards, you can play with them competitively. If you don't own them, you can only play with the paper casually. And for the Japanese player who bought your card, then he owns it digitally, so he can register his decks, but he needs a paper version. This is where print on demand comes into play, and we will offer a service based on our partnership with Cartamundi, the card manufacturer, which will allow you to pick up any cards in your collection and to ask Cartamundi to print it brand new in the language of your choice, and to have it delivered at your doorstep.
Okay, that's incredible. I mean, especially considering, one of the pain points as somebody who buys a lot of cards online, individual cards to make decks and stuff like that, is kind of the nervousness about what condition is it going to be shipped in, how long before they actually get out to the post office. So knowing that there's an official service that's handling that for me, I mean.
And furthermore, it means your cards are saved.
Yes.
If you lose them, burn them, destroy them, damage them, get them stolen, or whatever happens, you will have to pay a small fee to get them reprinted. But at least it's not lost. You still have your online collection, and you can ask Cartamundi to print it again for you.
Okay.
And you can even print it in multiple examples. It's not because you have one that you can print it only once. You can print it 1,000 times if you want. I mean, if you have a brother, a sister, a wife, or whoever wants to play with you, and you want to double up your collection, your paper collection with them, so they can have theirs as well, you can do it.
Okay. And then to that point, the QR codes, each one is unique on each card, right? So when you register a digital copy and bring physical copies, you also need to show, I'm assuming there's a max amount that could be of each individual card in a deck. Like how many
40
copies?
cards.
Okay.
And 3 copies.
And 3 copies. Okay. So if you show 3 copies, you'll also show the 3 ownerships for competitive tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, but in fact, even if you reprint this one, for example, this QR code will be different on the new one.
Okay.
It's because the system doesn't care about the QR code itself when we deck check. It just cares that it sees this card. It just wants to know if you have it in your registered deck.
Oh, gotcha.
It doesn't care that this paper version is yours or not.
Yes.
It just, if you play with it, cool, you have it. So you can borrow cards from friends and register your deck list from your collection. You don't need to find the right QR code that match the one you've registered here.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And again, September 13th is when the retail release is.
Retail release, and OP starts as well.
And OP starts as well?
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for the time and showing us how to play Altered.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yep. And until next time, bye-bye.